All right, everybody, welcome back from recess. Everybody go ahead and have a seat. And I kind of want to talk about some things I've been hearing about out at recess. So I know lately I've been hearing about a lot of people having some problems outside. So we're cutting each other in line. Maybe we're not keeping our hands to ourselves. Maybe we're not including other people in on our games. And how do people feel when those things happen? Does anybody have any thoughts? Yeah? You feel sad? You feel angry? Do you think everybody kind of has these feelings? So everybody kind of has their own feelings, right? And so each one of us is special and has our own feelings. So when you're talking to your friends, do you think that they have feelings too? They do. So one thing we want to keep in mind while we're going through some of these problems is that everybody in this room is special and has their own feelings about things. And we need to keep that in mind when we're getting in fights with them, okay? Or if we're having conflict outside. Has anybody heard that word before? Conflict? That's kind of a big one. I'm going to write that one down. Do you guys have an idea of what that means based on how I used it? Conflict? Yeah, so it kind of means like a fight or an argument or something like that. So if I were to get in line and Susie was to cut me in line, how do you think that would make me feel if I was supposed to be the line leader for the day? Yeah, I probably wouldn't be very happy, right? I would probably be sad. And we don't want to make our class family feel sad, right? And same thing if we go outside of this classroom, because we want to treat each other like a family in this classroom, but even going outside of this classroom, going and talking to other people, we want to make sure that we're talking to them using kind words and thinking about their feelings too. What about if I cut Susie in line? What do you think would happen? She would be sad. What do you think would happen to me? Do you think the principal would come say something to me maybe? Or maybe another teacher? Yeah, maybe I might get a blue slip. So one thing is that's called consequences. Have you guys ever heard of that word before? That's another big word. I'm going to write it down. C-O-N-S-E-Q. That's a long word. Let's see how many letters are in that word. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh man, that is a big word. Can anybody tell me what that big word means? If there's consequences for my actions? Have you guys ever heard your parents use that word before? Yeah, you go to timeout, might get a blue slip. Could there be good consequences for something? Have you guys ever thought about that? So what if maybe I gave you guys all 10 minutes of extra recess? How do you think you guys would feel? You guys would be pretty happy, right? So that would be a good consequence of my action of giving you guys extra recess, is you guys would all be happy. So anytime something happens or we have something go on, there's a consequence for that, right? So anything that we do, something's going to happen afterwards. And so we hope that a lot of the things that we do make other people happy because we like to be happy, right? So we are going to kind of look at some of these things and some of the choices people make and if it results in a conflict or an issue. And then what's the consequence of that or what happens after our issue? Okay, so I've got some stories that we're going to be looking through and we're going to look at who the characters in our story are, how they're treating each other, if they end up in a conflict, and what are the consequences for what they do. And we're going to kind of take a minute and kind of talk about those, okay? So what are the 3 things I want you guys to pay attention to? The characters, what they do if they get in a conflict, and what are the consequences of that action? What happens afterwards? Okay, so you guys can all come to the carpet, have a seat, and we're gonna get our story out.